Alright, good morning, good morning. It's another traffic-filled morning here with Spider Rider, which gives me a good opportunity to talk to you guys. And today I kind of want to talk about the future of motorcycles, because I think it's a really important topic in kind of thinking, you know, where are they going to go next, what's going to happen. But to understand the future, we've got to kind of understand the past. So let's just talk really briefly about the past. So where we've come from, motorcycles have been around for a really long time, obviously. Maybe like 100 years, early 1900s they started. Harley Davidson was one of the big pioneers. They were built for military, a variety of different purposes, but they were basically built to get off-road and get around and do all this stuff. So zoom forward, started building roads, a big road network. Bikes started turning more on-road and less off-road. Although they both existed, they kind of split into two distinct, whereas original motorcycles were made to go anywhere. Nowadays it seems like there's just every cross and hybrid of different types of bike you could imagine. You've got off-road bikes and dirt bikes, and you've got on-road bikes like street bikes. Then you've got like cruising bikes and enduro bikes, which are like on-road, off-road. Like, yeah, you can take it on-road, but if you need to go off-road, that's fine. Which was just the original bike. It was just on-road, off-road. There was actually, you know, there weren't even really many roads back then, so it was just more like take it wherever. But a lot's changed since then, and I think it's going to continue to do that. Off-road is going to continue to be a little... What a lot of people do, obviously, have dirt bikes, but not as big. Like it seems like street bikes have taken over, and now everyone rides street bikes, which is great. You know, there are a lot of roads to ride on, but they're also arguably the more dangerous place to ride since you have other traffic to worry about. And I don't know for sure, but my guess would be a lot more fatalities occur on the roads than on dirt. You know, probably more injuries on dirt because people try jumps and crash and shit. But anyway, so, and over that entire time period, the entire thing, bikes have almost exclusively been gasoline operated, gasoline powered. You put gasoline in them. Now that's changed through time in terms of what kind of gas, you know, leaded fuel, you need to mix your oil, blah, 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 whatever. Bring it up to today, they're almost entirely still just gasoline motorcycles. And that, I think that's changing, which is kind of the point of today's vlog. Let's jump into the future now and think where are things going. Do I think electric is the way of the future? Yes. Sadly, because I like motorcycles, I like the power they have running on gasoline, I like the sound they make running on gasoline, but I do think that's also gonna change pretty rapidly. You know, gas is a limited resource, there's only so much of it, and if everybody out here weren't the only person in their vehicle, oh, thanks a lot, bro. Right as I take my hand off to point around, the only person in their vehicle, then maybe it would last a little longer, but it's not gonna last very long at this pace, what you see directly in front of me. That kind of thing, guys with big trucks and the only person in it commuting 20 miles to work. It's not so bad with this because it's designed for one person. That's how I feel comfortable doing it. I wouldn't feel comfortable driving a big car all the way to work, burning up all that gas. Just seems wasteful to me, but I don't know. Call me a weirdo. Alright, that's enough splitting. So anyway, electric is kind of the future, but there are a lot of really cool things about motorcycles that I kind of want to tell you about. Let's let this guy pass. So there's this motorcycle, and if you haven't heard about it, I suggest you look it up because it's fucking sweet. It's called the Litmotor C1. Check it out. Go to you're on YouTube. Just type in Litmotor C1, and it's basically a self-balancing motorcycle, and it's enclosed, which really changes the game for motorcycles as we know it. It's self-balancing. It has gyros and holds itself vertical, and it's enclosed because they're trying to appeal to a different kind of market. Guys like probably you and definitely me, we like sort of the feeling of the open-air motorcycle, right? We like to be in the outside world, exposed to the elements, wind in your hair or on your visor if you live in a state where you have to wear a helmet, which I do now. So the point of that is it's a really cool idea, right? It's kind of, I think, maybe not going to revolutionize things, but the thing about this motorcycle is you don't need a motorcycle license to drive it because it has a steering wheel. And you don't need to be a skilled rider to ride it because it's self-balancing. But you can still have the perks of a motorcycle, like lane splitting, which is only legal here in California, but it's also an electric vehicle, and it'll cost, they say, and I've been keeping close tabs on this project for a while. They say it'll cost like $1 to fill up in terms of electricity. You plug it into your wall, and it charges the battery. But you'll get like 200 miles per charge, which is significantly better than any of the electric vehicles out there on the road today. Purely electric, like Tesla, which is pretty good. But they've, you know, if you check out Litmotors' website, you'll see the comparison, what they're expecting. Remember, they haven't built the thing yet. They have some prototypes, but they haven't actually built one in a mass production type setting. And, you know, nowadays, if you get a good electrical engineer, you can integrate your mobile phone with anything, right? Cell phones you can integrate them into anything, which is one of the coolest aspects of this thing. If it's got a lot of technology, why not make it cost a little bit more? It's already going to be small and cheap. Why not make it cost just a little bit more and have it integrate with your cell phone so you can make calls and have speakers and heating and air conditioning and all the stuff a car has, but the fun factor and efficiency of a motorcycle, that's like the point. And so that brings me back to my point of the future of motorcycles. I really do think, you know, fun factor is like the point of a motorcycle, that and efficiency. And on this bike, not even so much with the efficiency. It really doesn't do that good in terms of gas mileage and cost to own and operate and stuff like that. But other motorcycles are a lot better. This is like, alright, this is much better than a car, and it's, you know, this would be the equivalent of a hybrid, but it's the equivalent, you know, in terms of performance and power and fun of like a muscle car, or even better. So that's the thing about motorcycles, they're all much higher than cars, even the worst of them, which is probably this. So if you combine that efficiency and fun, that's like the future, that's where it has to go, because cars are definitely going the way of electric. You know, we burn up too much gasoline, it's too expensive, eventually it's not going to be the cheapest source of energy to run a car. Batteries probably are. And electricity made in other ways. So, point is, that's where I think things are going, is this way of electric. And I think electric is really cool because the engines work in a lot different way, right? You can't just hook up an electric motor to this bike's crankcase and expect to get the same power you get. They don't work like that. They don't operate in the same way. They're really torquey, but they don't have that top end, so it's a completely different kind of power, which is cool and could be kind of sucky because you have to basically redesign everything. Not that that's real difficult to do. And we're gonna go right now. You don't get that with electric, I'll tell you what. No, I'm joking, you can. It's all about the design. So anyway, point is, I think electric is the way to go. And I've never ridden an electric motorcycle. I've ridden, believe it or not, an electric bicycle. I really wanted to get one, something that was like powered for the hills, because I'm lazy. Super, super lazy. But you could still pedal like a bike. And they have these really cool electric bicycles now that you just push a button and it gives you throttle like power. Or you can pedal it like a bicycle, which is way cool. It's like the dream. And those have been around for a while. I actually looked into that in high school, which was, you know, quite a while ago. So, anyway, electric bikes are out there. They're super rare right now, but I think they're going to get more and more common. Look into this Litmotor C1 because I think it's cool. It's not, they're trying to appeal to a different audience than me, for example. Like, I'm not their target audience for buying this thing. But I think the idea is really cool, and I think there's a lot of potential in this idea. So check that out. And let me know if you agree or disagree, because I think that's, you know, the way of the future. Like it or hate it, I think that's the way it's going to be. So yeah, let me know what you think. Check it out. And if you think something else is the future, different fuel source, solar power, whatever, let me know. Yeah, let me know.